two-time rowing world champion, a former president of the Olympic Committee, Mike Stanley, knows a thing or two about rowing and the Olympics. RowingHub decided to check out how the games have evolved over the years and the secret to success on the water. So Mike, tell me how you got into rowing.
I was at Westlake Boys High School. I was happily playing rugby and a bit of tennis and other things. And our phys ed teacher, who we respected greatly, said that a number of us should get into rowing, and that would be good for our rugby playing. So me and a number of our mates all lined up as, I think, fourth formers in those days, year 10, and started off on rowing, which took over eventually from rugby as an interest.
What was it about rowing that you loved?
Well, it's certainly, we rowed in eights as schoolboys only. So, a strong bond between all of those guys who represented the school in eight, and we raced in the Mardi Cup, much smaller Mardi Cup, I'd have to say, than it is today. And the physical challenge, I think, I really enjoyed. And it was also something that, you really went out hard every day, and that also was appealing to me. I enjoyed that element of it, the training for it and the preparation. And you also, we had you moved around the country quite a lot at regattas, and the occasional bit of hijinks.
Just occasional hijinks, not too much. Well, that's great. And so you must have at some point found a lot of success, but probably along the way there are a few failures as well.
Like most athletes, more failures than successes, actually, the ones that come to mind. I had a pretty up and down early career, I guess. I did make the under 23 teams quite young, and they were successful, but the club we had promised, but then we had some stutters along the way as well, and that was a little frustrating, but eventually we got there. And at international level, a couple of great wins at the World Championship in the 8, but the bit of disappointment of not going to the Moscow Olympics and then being fourth at the LA Olympics. Those things do play on my mind quite a lot still.
Here's the lineup. New Zealand, the favorite, lane 1.
This is going to be a humdinger. There's just no question about it. New Zealand is the favorite. They've won the past 2 World Championships.
1,000 meters to go, and the 2 co-favorites, New Zealand and the United States, there they are, right at the top of your screen, are not in the top 2 or 3 right now. New Zealand is famous for its last 1,000 meters. Very strong, and these fellows have a harsh program. They live in tents, they cook their own food, they don't have any fancy program over there, and they have to pass the hat in some of their villages to go to training to take care of the expenses. Canadians in the lead, then he's toward the finish line. Canada, and now the United States, he's no to move. We're moving toward the finish line. United States right even with them. Maybe a foot or 2 behind. The Canadians have won. United States with a silver, and it appeared to be Australia and New Zealand battling for the bronze, and Australia gets it.
I watched that race and where New Zealand got 4th, and it's heartbreaking to watch. I mean, how did it take you a while to get over that?
You don't ever get over it, probably. Some of my crewmates went back to the Olympics and got medals. There was probably 3 of us or 4 of us who didn't, and we don't talk about it a lot, actually. It happened. It was a part of our DNA, and that's where it resides.
You're still so active. You still, obviously, that rowing, that love of sport has continued.
Oh, I mix it up with a bit of treadmill and a bit of S&C flexibility. I alternate that with, I do half an hour in the pool every other day. Yeah, I've always enjoyed sport recreation, if you like. I've got a lot of sporting interests that I continue to do and want to stay fit for, so that's my main motivation, so that I can still go and do a bit of surfing or diving. bit of fishing, and a couple of those need a fair bit of fitness and confidence in your ability, so it gives me a reason to do it. But I enjoy exercising generally, yeah.
And obviously you went on to continue with rowing and you became the president of the Olympic Committee. What was that like?
We had a great time in a period where New Zealand, of course, improved its medal standings, medal winning performances, Olympics on Olympics, and including the Winter Games, obviously. So it was a wonderful period to be involved.
And I guess that was your job in a way, that to try and grow the medal tally, is that right?
Well, we had to make sure that we didn't muck it up. That's or add the 1%. I think that's what we talk about, because we know that the hard work actually happens every day with the athletes, the coaches, the trainers, and those sorts of things. So that they do the mahi. We've got to make sure that we have the organisation that is absolutely bespoke to their needs during games time, so that they can do the very, very best they can, and more and more they do are fantastic. I feel a debt of gratitude to quite a few people who've contributed to my career. I'm now a pensioner, and at that sort of reflective time of your life, you built up networks, and you, I guess, know stuff that can be of help to various projects and other things around the place. We've always desired to have, and now have, a base on the upper harbour, Waitemata Harbour, which gives really good training water, long distance training water, which rowers need. We've got a broken down old shed up there which houses some very expensive equipment, and our legacy project, and I'm working with a couple of other members to forward this, is to replace that shed and to make it a legacy facility for rowers of the future, and we're going to call it the North Harbour Rowing Centre. A little bit dated, and you'll see that it's really worse for wear. We've tried to maintain it, but it really is beyond its use-by date. All the metal columns that actually hold it up are getting badly corroded. The new facility, when we replace it, will actually have 2 levels, and we'll be able to store some equipment, the small boats, singles, doubles and things on the upper floor, so we've got to have some more space. This you can see it's literally just the size of an 8. Oh. We've really got a very strong group of young people who don't mind too much about their environment and want to get out in the water and train hard. Our way of giving back, as I say, Barry Mavitt and myself are working away on this very hard, and some others, and we're very keen to get it done.
The rowers of the future will enjoy a new shed.
Absolutely, and they may even get a shower and some toilets.
Oh! And tell me about how the Olympics have evolved over the years. You were there right from the beginning in 1984, right till now. How do you see it as evolving?
Well, 84 was the first commercial games. The US Olympic Committee sold it to the IOC on the basis that they would take the financial risk, and they would take the sponsorship and much of the television rights as well. Some of that continues to this day, I'd have to say. But that has kicked off what is now, an element of the games that's very important, and very important to all the National Olympic Committees around the world as well, because through Olympic Solidarity they receive the lion's share of those funds that are generated that came back into the Olympic Committees to help promote sport, and that's very, very valuable to them as well.
And what we're seeing more and more, I guess, is the athletes wanting a share of that money.
That is a more recent development. Of course, in the old days, it was amateur, so if you received any money, you could not go to the Olympic Games, and that changed in the 1970s. But now there is a call for athletes to be remunerated from their successes at the Games, and World Athletics have moved down that path. It's a tricky one because not all the international sports federations are equally endowed, and many of the smaller sports would find that very difficult. We combined work, study and training, and did that when we represented New Zealand as well, apart from, of course, when we're overseas. Today, New Zealand has a wonderful high-performance sports system which allows athletes to really reach their potential, and they're training 24/7 pretty much. which means their volumes are far greater. They've got more time for recovery and all those sort of things. Nutrition is much more science around all of those things now. So it does give them the very best opportunity.
The Olympics coming up. What do you see? Are you tapping into a few medals for our rowers this summer?
It's a very strong rowing team. Obviously we had the incredible performances of Tokyo, and this team is quite different. We obviously don't have eights on the water this year, but we've got two very strong, experienced single scullers, double scullers, men's, women's fours, women's lightweight double scull. All very, very strong crews. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing us do very well.
How good is Emma Twigg? 5th Olympics.
Amazing.
Is it a lesson in perseverance?
Certainly, an athlete who can do that and have the talent, ability, but also perseverance. Remarkable.
True champion.
Yeah, very much.
But like you.
No, she's got a gold medal.